Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the IWC Chronograph Classic. This is the reference 3904-05, 42 millimeters in 18 karat red gold. You can see this IWC Chronograph Classic on our website, watchyouwant.com. Purchase it there, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. You can also click on the card icon on the right-hand side of this video to go straight to our product listing for this watch with prices and photos at any time in the video. Now you can see on my wrist 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. The Chronograph Classic splits the difference between the wrist presence of the larger yacht club, the 3905, and the traditional Portuguese chronograph. Now this one in 18 karat red gold features a dramatic contrast between the slate sunburst dial, the black subregisters, and the dark rectangular scale alligator Santoni leather strap. It's not an oversized watch, nor is it an undersized watch. At 42, it's right on what one would call the full-sized dead center of the spectrum for a large contemporary men's complication. Now the essential measurements beyond the 42 millimeter distance across the round of the case are 15 millimeters in thickness and 51 millimeters from lug to lug. Now I want to emphasize that because it does feature a domed style crystal that's exceptionally thick to give a little bit of the distortion effect that you see on vintage plexiglass, and because it does feature a concave bezel, it's actually quite easy to slip this one under a tight sleeve or dress cuff in spite of its nominal 15 millimeter thickness. And because the lugs do turn downward strongly with a powerful thrusting curve as they approach the periphery of the wrist, it's almost as if the case itself, when seen in profile, has a little bit of camber, so it does work with the curve of your wrist. 51 millimeters from lug to lug. Nevertheless, it doesn't have an inclination to overhang the edges of the wrist. Now, IWC does a great job of closing the gap between strap and case flank with curved, semi-conforming spring bars. They do close up the daylight between case and strap, but they don't force the strap to flare out. They don't have any rigidity or tendency to obstruct the motion of the strap, so you can wrap it around a smaller wrist. Even if your wrist is as small as perhaps 14.5 centimeters in circumference, you'll be able to wear this watch securely and with style. Now the strap, as a Santoni, is something special. In the last couple of years, IWC has been investing more in the grade and design of its straps, and it's engaged Santoni of Italy to create handmade alligator leather straps for the Chronograph Classics. You see the hardy, monotone stitch, black rectangular scale alligator on the top, with Santoni's house specialty, the orange calfskin on the bottom. It's beautifully executed, and it's matched to a simple, elegant, and beautifully finished, faceted, polished and brushed IWC pin buckle in matching red gold. The dial is spectacular, featuring a sunburst metallic. It's a slate metallic with the rayon effect of the sunburst radiating out from the cannon pinion at center. It does feature sunken and black subdials. Now the black subdials do have a very light circular guilloche pattern within to add texture, and they're gorgeous applied red gold Arabic numerals and rectangular indices matched with beautiful Portuguese style foy hands at center with a lancet constant seconds, or rather lancet chronograph seconds hand. Now it does feature a mono counter for the chronograph at 12 o'clock, so you have hours and minutes on a single scale and chronograph seconds at center with constant seconds for the hours, minutes, and seconds of civil time at 6. This allows the look, the balanced symmetry of a twin register chronograph with the functionality of a 3-register chronograph. It also features a gorgeous sector style or railroad style minute track outboard of the Arabic numerals that adds a nice touch of complicated calibration that fills out the flanks of the dial. And there are just a few shocks of red used in calculated and sparing fashion to make this dial really pop. Nicely executed, it also features a stepped aperture for the date window, so it's not a sheer cut through the dial, and a monotone date disc with high legibility white printing. It's there when you'd like it, it blends in when you don't, and it's beautifully balanced by an IWC marquee across the dial at 9 o'clock. This is an excellent exercise in symmetry and incorporation of complication without creating a busy composition. Now the pushers are unique. They are pump-style pushers in the vintage fashion. Much like the rest of the watch, it is vintage-inspired and cleverly incorporates a flyback complication within the caliber 89361. It's a little bit, perhaps, counterintuitive to activate a hyper-modern vertical clutch column wheel chronograph with flyback function using such vintage switchgear, but IWC manages to thread the needle with the Chronograph Classic. And on the case back, you see the main event. This is the caliber 89361 automatic winding bidirectional featuring IWC's famed Peloton winding system. This is a contemporary chronograph in every sense. Now, it features a superb 68-hour power reserve, so far more than the industry standard of 42 hours. It's also free-sprung, and unlike the conventional Peloton system used by some of the larger 50,000 series calibers, this one features a hyper-modern, hyper-efficient 4-pawl rather than 2-pawl system. And as mentioned earlier, it does feature a crisp column wheel for actuation and a vertical clutch for engagement. So if you do prefer to run your chronograph continuously for center seconds, you can absolutely do that with the vertical clutch coupling. There is no additional hazard, wear, or tear on the drivetrain for the chronograph. Of course, it does feature hacking seconds and a quick set date, so you can pull the crown, stop the balance, synchronize precisely to a reference timer, and should the watch ever run down, you can quickly cycle the date window to correct the date using the quick set function. You can see this elegant, thoroughly modern but vintage inspired IWC Portuguese Chronograph Classic in red gold on our website watchyouwant.com.